So I loved Rick's analogy of hypermiling, where you can get a lot more mileage for your car on the same tank of gas. And all of us would love that. We have, you know, we have so much time and energy in a day. We can definitely invite more, and we'll do some tapping on that in a few minutes. But how can we get more oomph for, how can we get further on the same amount of gas? And part of that, I think, is for humans. We're obviously not cars where we can put meters on everybody. But to me, it's about being present with yourself.
Hmm.
It's about inviting gentle transitions rather than slamming out, like Rick said, slamming on the brakes where we're kind of abrupt. And I know that when I'm on days like that, and I still have them, I just shift out of them faster thanks to tapping.
Yes.
And, calling a friend and going, something's wrong. And they're like, have you tapped? Have you breathed? When I'm in that space, it's very abrupt and somewhat angry and judgmental at myself. It's like I'm like going full speed ahead as fast as I can in one direction. Damn it, I forgot that other thing. Slam on the brakes, jerk the car around, go as fast as I can. And it's exhausting. One, I'm not celebrating where I am. I'm not enjoying the process. I'm just the brake the pedal is to the metal. I'm going as fast as I can and I'm not present with myself or my needs. And I find that I get a lot more done when I take a nice, slow, deep breath. Even in the midst of a deadline or whatever, if I can get present with my body and invite all of me, all of my body, my energy, the parts I don't like even, to come and help me with the project. When I bring all of me, when I'm not fighting back other parts of me, I find I get a whole new level of creativity and insights that I'm like, wow, where did those come from? And it feels great. And I'm not exhausted by the process. I'm actually revved up by it. Like I may be tired at the end of the day, but the process of creating goes from painful and forced and demanding to delightful and engaging, and like the whole process and that sense of flow of time where you're like, wow, I got all that done. Like where
Hmm.
did the like I'm not aware of the time as opposed to the pedal to the metal. I'm like, it's 5:05, it's 5:06. Oh my god, it's 5:07. Like there's that sense of like of urgency and intensity that's not delightful at all.
No, and it's not delightful for the people that are around you and in your world or in your vehicle. And just like in a car, you don't necessarily get there much faster.
Yeah.
A minute or two versus the level of stress that it puts on our being.
Yeah.
And I see this with people that have a lot of fatigue is that they discovered and maybe they carried it through from childhood and that's why they get really chronically fatigued is that
Yeah.
in order to get moving they jab themselves. And that abruptness, I'd like each of us to consider, and it may be that just a picture of yourself or a memory of a moment when you were really being abrupt in your life to try to boost your boost yourself.
It could be last week, yesterday, 10 years ago,
This
whatever it is.
morning,
Yeah.
um, when you were a teenager.
Yeah. Could we do some tapping with that part of it, that memory of that self that was so anxious, so like pushed to the limit?
Absolutely. Just taking a moment to tune in, and there can be a resistance to letting yourself tune in because this strategy sometimes can feel like I don't know who I would be if I didn't drive myself that way.
Yeah.
Okay. Even though I'm so used to driving this myself this way,
Even though I'm so used to driving myself this way,
and it is really abrupt,
and it is really abrupt.
I'm not sure what the alternative is.
I'm not sure what the alternative is.
Kathy talks about being gentle and mindful.
Kathy talks about being gentle and mindful.
I don't even know what that feels like.
I don't even know what that feels like.
Yes, I do.
Yes, I do.
And sometimes it's not accessible.
And sometimes it's not accessible.
And I'm tuning my body to use my energy in gentle and accessible ways.
I'm tuning my body to be accessible and gentle. I'm sorry, I totally
It's
messed that
okay.
up.
I'm tuning my body
I'm tuning my body
to have my energy be accessible.
To have my energy be accessible
in gentle and mindful ways.
in gentle and mindful ways.
Top of the head. I really am abrupt with myself.
I really am abrupt with myself.
Eyebrow. And that's not easy on my body.
And that's not easy on my body.
Side of the eye. I thought it was the way to get things done when I'm
I
tired.
thought it I thought it was the way to get things done when I'm tired.
Under the eye. And I do get things done.
And I do get things done.
Under the nose. And then I'm really exhausted.
And I'm really exhausted.
Chin. I wonder if there's a different approach.
I wonder if there's a different approach.
Collarbone. What if I was more in my own flow?
What if I was more in my own flow?
Under the arm. A little bit less abrupt with the accelerator.
A little less abrupt with the accelerator.
Top head. What if I took the anger out of my treatment of myself?
What if I took my anger out of my treatment of myself?
Eyebrow. Well, then I wouldn't do anything.
Then I wouldn't do anything.
Side of the eye. Really?
Really?
Under the eye. I bet I could be gentler with myself.
I bet I could be gentler with myself.
Under the nose. And still get things done.
And still get things done.
Chin. I might even enjoy the scenery more.
I might even enjoy the scenery more.
Collarbone. That would be really good.
That would be really good.
Under the arm. I'm open to retuning my driving habits.
I'm open to retuning my driving habits.
Top of head. And that might really be good for my whole being.
And that might be really good for my whole being. I was thinking when we were doing that tapping that, if I've had people in my life that treated me that way, that abrupt, I had a boss that was that way. I didn't want to work for them. I didn't want to be around them. And yet a lot of us treat ourselves that way all the time. And I wonder how much of that energy leaches out on other people. I'm wondering, I know I'm directing it at myself whenever I get in that space, but I'm wondering, I don't think I'm very pleasant to be around when I'm in there.
Mm.
And so I'd love to, if it's okay with you, lead some tapping, just tapping on the younger self that was in that space to kind of release it at an even deeper level.
Let's do that.
Deep breath. Now imagine that you have that frantic, intense person in front of you. And we're going to freeze frame them for a minute so we're going to tell them we're freezing time so they don't feel like they have to run away. And what I'd like you to do is to tap for them. Just tap on yourself for that person while you're imagining looking at them. Karate chop. Hey there, sweetheart.
Hey there, sweetheart.
I am so sorry.
I am so sorry.
That doesn't look like fun at all.
Doesn't look like you're having fun at all.
And I so appreciate how hard you're trying.
And I so appreciate how hard you're trying.
I love how much you care.
I love how much you care.
You must really care.
You must really care.
Because you're acting like a leopard's about to eat you.
Because you're acting like a leopard's about to eat you.
And really, you're okay.
And really, you're okay.
Top of the head. Thank you for trying so hard.
Thank you for trying so hard.
Eyebrow. I appreciate you a lot.
I appreciate you a lot.
Side of the eye. And I'd like you to try an experiment with me.
And I'd like you to try an experiment with me.
Under the eye. Instead of driving this hard.
Instead of driving this hard.
Under the nose. What if we work together?
What if we worked together?
Chin. And created something really amazing.
And created something really amazing.
Collarbone. I'm curious about that.
I'm really curious about that.
Under the arm. I'm looking forward to that, actually.
I'm looking forward to that, actually.
Top of the head. And I look forward to what we can create when we're not driving so hard.
And I look forward to what we can create when we're not driving this hard.
Take a nice deep breath. And if it feels true for you, imagine that you can feel the tension and strain flowing out from that younger self into the ground. The ground will recycle all that stress. And see how your body feels. And if you can't experience that yet, we encourage you to go back and do that tapping again because you might have something more stuck there. But if you can allow that old tension to flow out, that lets you flow in new vital energy. It's hard to get filled up by the flowers and the good experiences when you're full of stress and tension. So you are doing great. And we look forward to what you're going to create with this new energy and this new perspective.